Morning, my name is Mark Brennan. I'm the Operations Section Chief for Team 3 in the Dixie incident, and I'll be going over the operational briefing for August 26th. So fire's looking overall pretty good. A couple challenging spots that we'll talk about, but for the most part on our Westwood sector through the middle of the fire, looking really good. Just in a mop-up phase, continued mop-up phase, patrol status. Calls for service on the populated areas on both the west and east shore of the lake. This bottom section down here near Dyer Mountain that's been a bit of a challenge over the past week or so is getting buttoned up. A lot of good mop-up being put in there, and that's finally getting straightened up and put away. Moving over to this Duffy Group area, we continue to putting our direct line in there, improving that line. Heavy mop-up, a lot of heat in there still, a lot of heavy materials that need to be mopped up, and that's going to be ongoing, continuous mop-up for days to come. Along the Highway 36 corridor, that's really good. Got good deep mop-up in there, and that's looking very cold. A few occasional smokes well interior of that burn, and all along the east side of that bit of fire, all mopped up and looking good, and we're just in a patrol status regarding that. Moving over to Janesville. Janesville's looking really good. Again, the community's repopulated. We are getting some calls for service for occasional smokes that are being seen there, but our line that's going up from 395 up to the escarpment, on top of the escarpment, and moving its way around the fire is just a work in progress. Just again, some very heavy pockets of fuel that are within there that we're mopping up, continuing to improve that line as we move around the top part of it. But we'll start seeing more black line on that map in the days to come. On the southern part of that, towards Milford, just a real pocket of some heavy fuels that we've been continuing to mop up and will continue to do in the days moving forward. Looking really good, and we will have a presence in that community and those communities coming days. Moving up into our Lassen sector, north of 36, a couple of the areas we've been working for a number of days and just challenging because, again, the steep topography, the fuels, the heavy heat that we have interior, and with some limited resources, we're still working this finger that comes out into the plateau, the Mill Creek Plateau. Direct line on it again. We have our secondary and tertiary lines in place, and it's just going to take a lot of work to button it up. The bottom part's mopping up very nice, and we're just finishing up that top part. Within this pocket, a lot of mop up in there, a lot of resources that we have within that. It's just really tough terrain to work in, heavy fuels once again, and it's just going to be a very long process, days to come regarding the mop up in that area. Moving into the park, the shoulders is mopping up really nice in November. Moving into Division Papa, has been some challenges over the past couple of days with some spotting, some runs of fire that took place over the past couple of days, and we just had to readjust, fall back a little bit, and then starting to get our line construction put in. Outside the park in Quebec, we had firing operations over the past couple of days. We've had to hold that up with a slop from a spot that came out of Papa outside and adjacent to Quebec. So that was pushing and having a threat to 44, which we had closed temporarily for a few hours yesterday, but the crews did a great job in going direct, picking that up when it got into some more favorable terrain and fuels, and they were able to get around that, and so 44 was opened back up this morning. So it was a good catch there, really good job regarding that. Quebec continues to mop up in the firing that was done the other day, and then in the coming days when we find an appropriate window and time and resources, then we'll continue that operation to close that door from any push towards 44 and to the north and east. Division Romeo, heavy mop up in there, still continuing. Tango, again, same thing. So that's looking good. And then up above the park, we've been opening up some of the lines from the reading fire. We've got some really good contingency lines that have been opened up. Primary line, a secondary line, and working on a tertiary emergency line, and that will provide a good level of protection for the community of Old Station. So they're working diligently in making that happen, and that's a work in progress. Have a lot of resources up there putting those lines in that'll protect the community. So some good plans for our contingency. Weather has been cooperating as far as the air quality. to get our aircraft in there. Our fixed wing, we were able to fly yesterday in support of the mission, in particular up here in the last one where we had that slop over. So they're doing a really good job there with that. Rotorcraft, again, every day we've been able to poke into certain areas and utilize that asset to meet our priorities and achieve the mission. Thank you.